This day 746 of Shulchan Yomi. Like sponsor come share more of the Shulchan Yomi. Please come me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. Today we're supposed to be doing from Taf Nun Ches Dalit to Taf Nun Tes Ches, but we did Taf Nun Ches Dalit last night in order to finish off the Siman. So we were doing Taf Nun Tes Aleph through Ches. Taf Nun Tes Dini Elisha, kneading the dough of the matzah. Aleph. So you don't need matzah dough outside where the sun is shining. Because he, the sun, heats up the dough of a kalta which it's easily become chometz. A mokum atzel, place which is shady. Mutar lelush, you're allowed to knead the dough. Even if it's underneath the open air, underneath the what's what I'm looking for, the Pata Shamayim. I don't remember what he said in English. Whatever, you got the point. That's if it's not a shady day. I'm sorry. It's not a shady day. In other words, it's in the shade, but it's not a shady day. But a shady day, it's also the Yom Iba Kula Shimshon. When Yuma says, it's difficult to understand, but a day which is cloudy is completely sunny, meaning that the heat diffuses in some way, shape, or form, which can be in a way hotter than a sunny day. And this he says here, that's explaining the sun comes through all the cracks in the clouds. If you did need the dough under the sun, and the dough seems to get a little bit heated up. It's also even b'diavad. The Mishmur seems to concur with that. However, says Arukh HaShulchan, in our northern countries, whatever the case is with the sun in the southern countries, or maybe this svara applies, but in our northern countries, if you did in the sun, we see with clarity, it doesn't get hot on a cloudy day. Refrak Kodim Pesach, shows a dying avir kar, it's saying especially before Pesach, when there's still cold air by us. Even us, we are in lower latitudes than the Arukh, but it seems to be probably similar. You should need opposite an open window. It goes the same when the sun comes through the window. Even if the sun rays do not penetrate directly to the window, because the clouds might get covered with the sun might get the sky might get covered with cloud, and we have a problem with the diffused light through the cracks. Finally, this is with the Christ body, because we explained that a day it's cloudy is completely sunny. Outside the house, not concerned with this, because they are certainly going to be able to tell when the sun gets covered up. When you're in the house, you won't realize it's happening. It's only with an open window. If the window's not open, even if it comes in through the glass, which one would think makes it worse, because the magnifying effect of the glass, nevertheless, mutar lush allowed to knead. So the chokako. Even though now water we answer when it's in that the light of the sun, water is different because it heats up quickly. As opposed to dough doesn't get heated up in this situation. This is not necessarily, as I just mentioned, not necessarily the case always. This is the glass effect, window effect, as I mentioned before. About posting because of heat or the same. Post were according to the climate in their countries. We in our country, we know with clarity. Sometimes the sun hits the glass of the windows. The point is, again, like I said before, magnifies the effect. It can heat up very much the dough, which is on the table, where the women are kneading it. So you have to close up the glass of windows somehow. In close his whether you put a curtain on the window, or or to use the shutters on the outside, and also the opposite. We see clearly The Kshacher Katan, when it's a small room, because of the constant heat, that gets very hot in the room, until the sweat is pouring down from the people involved, and they are weak, and they don't have any strength to continue to make the matzah. In those cases, very often when you open the window, it has a reverse effect. The wind's going to blow, so to cool down the air. People are making the matzah will also be frustrated by that. And also, the wind is going to pass over the dough and cool it down. As long as the sun is not opposite that open window, the window is to keep windows open for air. Dalit, im loshin hamatzah b'makom zeh. One of those say you should machmer zman as always to do the work the dough in air conditioned area. Dalit, im loshin hamatzah b'makom zeh. If you need the matzah in this place. If no sin lafosa by sacher, and you take it to bake in a different house, or Arukh HaShulchan, which is this space. Lo yisatz hamatzos megulim tachas haber akia. You can't carry the matzahs open to the sky. Some bits of cover them with some light covering. There's concerned that maybe some of the dough will stick to the covering. Don't use it so many times over, so it shouldn't be a compensation. Even the water and flour you should not carry in the open air without a covering. Mishabura says that this is similar to, of course, it's derived from the lisha. So you shouldn't do lisha in that open area, so too you shouldn't transport stuff openly in that area. But although the Magen Avraham is machmir, even on a non-cloudy day, he says you don't have to be machmir because it's only extra care. It's not really mikar din. This whole concern here. Anyway, don't need near the opening of the oven because the heat rises up from the opening of the oven. Also by the wall of the oven. If heat rises up from the wall of the oven, also the need there. If not, such as wall stick, but there isn't much heat on the outside of the wall. If you will say no, everything has to be seen and assessed at the time. We also be careful. We put the matzahs in the oven by thin sticks. Do it quickly to put it in the oven. Not to let them remain on those sticks because they can get warm. Which very quickly come to ferment. It's also obligatory to prepare many of these sticks. If one of them starts getting hot, it's going to put in a cool place to cool down. You'll take another stick, which is cold, and then that one in turn becomes hot a little bit. You put another cool place. Take another stick in instead. Should cycle through them. So no stick gets warm. Velgarin, Vegam Hastoplin, Redlin, whatever these are, parts of the kneading process. Lo they should not be by the oven. You should use a large open room where there's a lot of air. Air conditioning. Hey, it's preferable not to leave the dough without some working thereof. I feel ready to chasim for a moment. As long as you're working it over. I feel even the entire day. Basic and the definition of being involved with it is either mixing or kneading. I don't know whatever the stoplin are, but if they're strong, it's called involvement. If they're weak, it's not called involvement. I guess based on what the Mishnah says, that's what it makes the holes in the matzah. They make the roller which has the hole makes the holes. The Mishnah says that this or maybe something else. And when you make the holes in the matzah, it's called involvement with the matzah. that doesn't allow it to go chametz. Nevertheless, it doesn't negate any previous delay, and if delays all the way up to the shear of a meal, which we say is 18 minutes, even though really probably 25 minutes, then we answer the matzah. As he's going to say, the Rosh is going to say momentarily. Be careful not to place your hand on the matzah very much. The hand is hot. How long can the dough remain without involvement with it, and it will not become chametz? It's a quarter of an hour and a 20th of an hour. 18 minutes. It's because Gemara says amount of time takes to walk in meal. A person's average walking during the day is a parasos. It's 10 parasos, shem 40 million, or 40 million. The whole parasa 4 million. Each paras is 4 million. Vayom, who use beshos in the day is 12 hours. Nimsa the magia, chol shah gimel million, which lists meal. Each and every hour is 3 million and a third of a meal. Meal by mama, the meal is 2,000 hours. Chol shah yeshish minutin. Each hour has 60 minutes. Magil chol minut me'ev shnei masor amos makiruv. So each minute comes out approximately 112 amos. Magil, you could ches minutin, and in 18 minutes get the shnei lafim amma v'yud beis amma, 2,000 amos and 12 amos, more than a meal. The fi cheshbon me'ev shnei masor, according to the cheshbon of 112 meal per minute. Ve'enim shnei masor makiruv. It's not precise. It's only approximate. Avil amma but simtzum. It's barely over 2,000 amos. But that is over 2,000 amos. For shir show chelach of dalet mina eis leis show. Then you rely on the shir of an hour here. What we're referencing is a 1/24th of an hour. But Ava Rambam Barav Perish Zvav. Ava Rambam Barav Perish Mishnah. Something bergim because of shir milush nechum shisha zel chavdal minutin. I know who's going to speak about this. Okay, but it is. They say 24 minutes. The Chumash Shishi Minutim is a fifth of 60 minutes. Have a Yud Beis is 12. Vishnei Chumashim 2/5 is 12. Chavdal is 24. Dinu Chashvi Manates by the Shkir Beis shows because they this has to do with the Machlekes about Shkia and Seis with Rabbeinu Tam versus the Goinim. So they hold that we made the 12 hours are not from Alois to Shachar until it says Goinim, but from sunrise until sunset. During that time, you go to 30 meal, not 40. A certain meal, and you could 10 meal or walk before sunrise, after the sunset. These are the you buy 30 meal into 12 hours, which are 60/5 of an hour. Each meal will be 2/5 of an hour. That's the Mario. The Goyim were masking to this, that this is the primary halacha, like the Goyim, not like the Rabbeinu Tam. There, right? But there, the first opinion is in contradiction to the reality, which we'll get into right now. Nevertheless, you should mark it preferably that it's 18 minutes. The Bir Halacha says you should do 18 minutes. Hefsem Ruba, you can rely on on a longer length, but not more than 22.5 minutes, which is the third shita. In this case, the last opinion is a kula. You get 24 instead of 18. In terms of melicha, the shear melicha shear hiluch meal, because it says the shear of melicha of meat is the shear of going on meal. And came the day of Rishona, the ibud ches minutin. It's enough 18 minutes with the achrayna tzarich of dal minut. You need 24 minutes. Again, there's another shita there that it's 32 meal between sunrise and sunset. That will give you the 22.5 measure. The Shubha writes with the Evid by Melicha, it should be at least 23 minutes. Chatchila, an hour. And it's okay. One should not deviate from that. Sorry. Yesh lach mir maher binyan asiyas matzos. You should be to do matzos quickly. Shari yesh misha veshos lishos kishir meal with gas lishvarafia. Also, you're not allowed to tarry a shear of a meal from the beginning of the kneading until you bake it. Come out and knuckle tanur up to you put it in the oven. It's not just interruptions. Even time when you're working, the dough is included in this. So even though we don't know the way the malcham, it's only if it tarries 18 minutes in total, which it's not worked. Unless it's matzah, it's based, it's properly machmir. But it's furthermore to say, this is also according to the halacha. Because it doesn't, the gaps don't have to be one continuous gap of 18 minutes. If you tarry a little bit, a second, then you revive again, but you shamat, then you still tarry a little bit, but start and shields, the times in between join together. You they make up the day meal all together. Shuma Sadeshan says when you're completely involved in working the dough, such as when you're kicking it with your hands, so punching it, and rolling it out, even if you stop the minute, I guess, for rolling, something like that, but then you stop again from rolling. Then now it's time for the shear of meal, because that it's not cumulative, because whatever involvement you had immediately afterwards negates the prior delay. But the Arukh HaShulchan is being machmir like the Maril, who says that we are mitzaref the shios. They do join together. If the dough is in a warm place. According to the letter of law, gets chametz much quicker, but much less than a shear of a meal. After they're involved in the dough and it got warm with the hands, it also gets to be chametz quicker than a shear of a meal. Basically, Mishnah agrees. Okay, was reason about mitzvah says should be hasty and diligent, quick and diligent, not hasty. It may bake matzahs and aricha matzahs achi grufa tanur, and they should not start setting the matzahs until you rake the oven. They should not tarry afterwards to rake the coals of the oven. The many cautions we take, precautions take a matzah. Such as when the bone which you mix, if it's made of pottery, it's typical revashah. Every quarter I need to take a new pottery vessel. Because you can't clean it. That's what we use. Either copper mixing bowls on the choshen mushab, mess, or some sort of glazed copper, glazed with gold. Shem chalakim, which are smooth. V'kal rochtem, it's easy to rinse them and akosim and clean them. Zush leib and fly, they should not have any patches. Should be careful because in the cracks of the patches, the little dough gets caught. When they every time you make 2 or 3 doughs, you should switch bowls. But you should not care in the meantime clean the first one. Mishmor says you have to wash your hands and the area in which you do the lisha, and go dry them off with a cloth between each and every dough. That's I know what he's going from. He says our minig is to wash after you make 2 or 3 doughs. Assuming that they won't be from the beginning of the lisha more than the shear of meal. That seems to be obvious. Okay. Anyway, but should be careful. The person who puts the flour from the sack, the chamina, into the measure later, and my mishnah put in the water. The water should not stand near the sack of flour. And the woman who's kneading, the kanaki that like Mishmor says, you can't see in her hands. And now by saw, and when she is kneading, she should pay attention to the dough. Not speak to the other women. So that the kneading is, automatic. She should be careful to knead very, very well. So that there shouldn't remain any dough any flour in the dough.